Hey guys, welcome back to the Power Play. I am Katie, and I am joined by...
Hey guys, what's going on? I'm Daisy, and hopefully we will be joined by Chris later on in our special show we have for you today.
Da-da-da-da! This is our big finale show, so it's kind of bittersweet. It's going to be nice to have summer break again, but at the same time, the show is going to be coming to an end. So we have a 2-hour special coming up for you guys, and we're just going to be talking about the NHL playoffs. We haven't really been on the air since the playoffs started, so a lot to talk about. Games, series, individual players. There's been a lot going on. A lot of overtime hockey this year.
A lot of overtime hockey, especially for the first series, which kind of makes me nervous if you're looking at maybe your favorite team. It's a lot of stress for teams in the first series to be playing extra periods when they shouldn't really be, especially in the first.
Exactly. So we're going to be talking about not just the overtime hockey, but also regulation hockey, just because it has been a very interesting first round series in both the West and the East. So we have the Western Conference coming up in the first hour. We'll talk about the Eastern Conference in the second hour. And unfortunately, Jake will not be here to do his final rant segment. He had let us know last night that he may have bronchitis and had to go to the hospital. So we wish him all the best and hope that he gets well soon.
Shout out to Jake in Mercy Hospital.
Yeah, well, I hope you're not still in the hospital, Jake. But if you are, feel better soon. We're thinking about you here at the Power Play. And if you're not, make sure you're following us on Twitter. We are at the Power Play 14. And
ready to get right into it?
Let's do this. It's been a fantastic semester. Let's go out with a bang.
Okay, so the first thing in the West that I am so excited to talk about, this is crazy to me. I had a boyfriend that was really into the San Jose Sharks, which is really interesting since we're from the backwoods of Pennsylvania. But if you haven't seen it on NHL.com, now with the new way the playoffs have been set up, they have the bracket challenge, kind of like the NCAA. I'm assuming it didn't catch on as quick, especially in the first year that they had it, but I digress. In my bracket, I had the Kings over the Sharks. I mean, who wouldn't at this point? Antti Niemi over Jonathan Quick, who was the Olympic goalie. They won the Stanley Cup here just previously, a few years back. I am blown away by the Sharks. I'm really blown away.
Yeah, well, one thing that we talked about earlier in the semester and in past shows was that the Kings are a very good playoff team. So I believe I picked the Kings.
Who wouldn't?
To win this first round. I mean, yes, we have acknowledged that the Sharks have had a very, very good season, and they are a very good team. But postseason or playoffs are a little bit different than regular season play. And I don't know. I really heavily favored the Kings just because of their ability to really stick it out through the playoffs. And yeah, like you said, they won the Cup a few years ago, and they're just an all-around great team in that aspect. So I really believe that they're shocking a lot of people right now.
It's just interesting with the Sharks. They were in the playoffs last year. They got pretty far and then choked. That's what the boyfriend I had would always say. They'd get so far and then they'd choke. But when you're playing the first round against the Kings, I had expected them to choke way more than what they have. Obviously, are they sweeping them right now, aren't they?
Yeah, well,
Game 4's tonight.
I watched a little bit of the game last night. I believe it was, or maybe it was a rerun. I'm not sure. I was kind of transitioning from the Detroit-Boston game to the Sharks-Kings game. And when I had tuned in, it was still the first period, and the Sharks were up. Or no, I'm sorry, the Kings were up 1-0, and then they tied at 1-1 before I finally just couldn't keep my eyes open any longer. Those West Coast games are going to kill me. But yeah, it's that series I think is going to be the one that's really going to stand out as far as the Western Conference playoff series go. The other teams in the West right now are I pretty much think they're going the way I think everybody kind of expected them to go.
Just not this one.
Yeah, this is the one that's really kind of standing out. And one thing I think is going to make this one a little bit more interesting to follow is that these two teams are kind of neighbors. I mean, they were playing in LA, and there were still quite a few Sharks fans in attendance there. And you could see that whenever the Sharks would score.
Game 4 tonight is going to be really interesting. It starts tonight at 7:30 Pacific time. So what is that Eastern time? When are we going to be able to?
10:30 p.m.
10:30. So if you're still up on this Friday, you definitely want
Friday
to catch.
night. You'll be up
want to
late.
catch the Sharks game, or at least follow along on Twitter. I love the Kings Twitter account. I follow them on my personal account.
Absolutely.
I can't help it. They're hysterical.
Oh, I know I've talked about the Kings Twitter account so many times before. They are wonderful. I actually, it was kind of the highlight of my Twitter career for my account when I tweeted something about how awesome I thought they were, and they favorited it. And I don't think I've ever been more excited to get a favorite on any tweet.
Well, tonight's game is going to be really interesting. I have a quote here from Kopitar from the Kings. He said, "We're going to come out and throw everything at them." Translation, Antti Niemi is going to be quite busy in Game 4 here tonight. I mean, he's a great goalie, but I just don't think he stands up against Jonathan Quick at all.
Yeah, we've seen some really incredible comebacks in the playoffs throughout the past few seasons. So there is every chance in the world for the Kings to come back and reclaim the series if they really buckle down.
Well, Niemi finished the regular season with a 39-17-7 record. He won the Stanley Cup, if you forgot about this, the Stanley Cup with the Chicago Blackhawks in 2010, and his career record in the playoffs is 35-23.
That's pretty good for playoff hockey.
So Niemi's definitely a big factor in the way this series is going. But I mean, I'm still flabbergasted because I'm all about my goalies, and for me, Jonathan Quick. The Sharks had a really high scoring game the other night that just blew me away. It was 6. They scored 6 goals. I'm pretty sure LA. It was a 6-3, 6-2, possibly.
That's
6-3.
That's quite a lot of goals for the playoffs. But, kind of broadening that spectrum a little bit more, this has been a very high-scoring first-round series all around, if you ask me. Immediately, I'm going to go back to a few years ago when the Penguins scored 10 goals against the Flyers in the first round. But, I mean, nothing that high-scoring is going on here. But there have been quite a lot of goals scored for the quality and the caliber of the goaltending that's present in the playoffs this year. So that's another interesting thing that I really took notice to.
I think that's what's so surprising to me. And I just wanted to make a quick correction. I'm looking at the Sharks site, and they're not too great on updating it. They played Game 4. Game 5 is on Saturday at 7. So it'll be Saturday at 10 o'clock. So if you're up on Saturday, it's going to be a really, really great game. They're still facing elimination, and this could be what knocks the Kings off.
So I was watching Game 4 last night. I thought maybe I was just really tired and didn't know what I was watching.
Sharks need to update their site. Keep me from being confused.
All right, well, that's definitely a series to keep your eye on. And Saturday is going to be an exciting night. And but moving on to another series. A lot of these series are tied 2-2 right now, both in the East and the West. One of those in the West right now is the Wild and the Avalanche. And I've got to say, This has really surprised me. I honestly thought the Avalanche were either going to sweep or go up 3-1. I never thought the Wild would battle back the way they did to tie up the series 2-2.
The Wild are definitely battling. They only scored twice in Game 4, but they allowed 12 shots on goal the entire game. So you don't need much offense going off of that.
Yeah, the defense, I mean, when I played sports, obviously, softball is very different from hockey, but they always said that it's your defense that's going to win your games. And I can definitely see that, especially in this series right now. Only allowing 12 shots on goal is huge. Yes, offense is very important, and those are the numbers that are going to put you up and make you win games. But you can score as many times as you want. If the other team scores more than you, you're still going to lose. So goaltending and defense is absolutely crucial.
Can definitely be brought into a certain discussion in the Eastern Conference here within the next hour.
Yeah, that will definitely be a highlight that we were going to be covering coming up in the next hour. But for now, focusing just here on the Wild and the Avalanche, I think one thing that we have to point out is Matt Cook was suspended for his knee-to-knee hit.
7 games?
Yes, and that's... provided the Wild will continue to go 7 games, I think that's really going to hurt. Not just because of who the player is, but just because of the situation that, you're in the playoffs. You cannot afford to be making dumb plays like that.
He issued a statement a little while ago, I think possibly yesterday, I believe it was, and he said, "First and foremost, I want to say that I'm disappointed and sorry that Tyson can't play for the Avalanche tonight, and he addressed the media at the morning skate, that he says he wishes he could play, that it wasn't his intent to collide with him knee on knee. It was his intent to finish his check. The playoffs are a hard and physical time, and it's my job to be physical. And he's led his team in hits all 3 games.
I think in this situation, Matt Cook is known for being a repeat offender of questionable hits like that, and I don't think that played in his favor when the league was going to lay down
we
a
saw
suspension.
it here in Pittsburgh.
Exactly. I mean, I immediately go back to the Achilles tendon injury to Erik Karlsson last year when he was still with the Penguins. And I don't know. I mean, he can say that he did not intend to hit him, and, I believe he didn't. No player goes out there with the mindset that they're going to seriously hurt someone else, but he just has to start using his head a little bit more, especially now when it's crunch time.
When was the Achilles tendon with Karlsson last year? Because Cook mentions that since March 20th, 2011, I guess it was a couple years before, I've been a changed player. I've approached the game differently. I think differently about the game.
Right. Well, at the end, I think it was at the end of the 2010-2011 season, that was really, that was the worst year as far as the illegal hits and the questionable play that he had. And he really did turn himself around after that season when he was handed a few suspensions. But yeah, the Karlsson injury, I believe it was last February. It was definitely last season, but and that one was not intentional. I watched that replay a couple times. There's no way that he could have really intentionally hurt Karlsson the way that he did. And I do believe that it was the right decision of the league to not give him a suspension for that, regardless of what Ottawa thought he deserved. But I don't know. It's Cook's a very good player, and it's kind of a shame that he puts himself in these situations all the time.
He left without taking questions the morning where he issued this statement, and he didn't say whether he would appeal the suspension or not, but he has until tonight to decide if he's going to appeal this.
I'm not seeing an appeal coming on. I think he knows that he would not win that if he did.
It's his 6th career suspension for various safety violations, and his total of suspended games include 34, including playoffs. He's been fined 4 times, but this is his first suspension in more than 3 years after elbowing a Ranger in the head in 2011, when he was banned for the final 10 regular season games in the first round that year.
Oh yeah, that was probably the heaviest suspension he's ever had, but 7 games in the playoffs is still a pretty hefty penalty for that,
especially when the Wild are battling back.
Oh yeah, they need all the help they can get right now. I'm not saying, when I say that, I imply that the Wild are definitely the underdogs in this situation.
And that's how I thought of it, especially going back to that new whole bracket idea from the NHL Network. That's who I had over, definitely the Avs over.
I think we all picked the Avs over the Wild when we were making our predictions a couple weeks ago. So.
All right, well, we're going to go ahead and take our first quick break, and when we come back, we are going to be joined by Chris, and we are going to continue talking about the western half of the playoffs that are going on. As a lot of different aspects, different injuries, different things that are going on there. So we are the Power Play. You should be following us on Twitter or tweeting along with the show today. We want to know your opinions, and we are at the Power Play 14, and we will be right back.